There are 21 styles total in Blue Lock Rivals, and today I'm going to be comparing every style's ability to the anime as well as rank each style in a tier list to find out how accurate they are to Blue Lock. So before we get into our first character, make sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe, and let's get right into character number 1. Alright, so the first character that we're going to be starting off with is Igaguri, the expert at the reverse foul technique. So let me just join the game. Bro, why is that so loud? Alright, so obviously, as you guys know, the latest character that has been added to Blue Lock Rivals is Igaguri, and the two moves that we do have with his base form are Militia and Monk Pass. So the first move that we have is the Militia, and in order for me to use this, we need a second person in the game. Alright, so this move actually does have two variations. So the first variation is this one right here. So you pretty much just like take the ball from the person while you like foul them, I think. And the second variation is the air variation. So you pretty much just jump forward and like lunge. As you guys can see, you can actually use this to hit the ball as well. So let's say the ball is in the air. If I use this as... Okay, that was a little too high, bro. There we go. As you guys saw right there, you can literally use it to like hit the ball. So if the ball is in mid-air or something, you can literally just do this and like just smack the ball. It does go pretty far, but you do get ragdolled yourself. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, somebody kicks the ball, and what's gonna happen is Igaguri is gonna like hit the ball with his face, bro. So that right there was the best example I found for like the Militia move in the anime. But the next move that we do have is the Monk Pass. And the way Monk Pass works is pretty simple, bro. You literally just pass the ball to your teammate, and it's pretty simple, man. So that's how it looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, we got Shido over here. All right, so basically Igaguri passes the ball to Shido, and I believe this is in season 2 of the anime. All right, so now it's time for the awakening animation. All right, so as you guys can see, Igaguri has a fire animation, bro. All right, so he literally just summons some monk thing. He has some like Buddha thing behind him. I don't know, bro. So you guys might be wondering, how does this look like in the anime? All right, so this is the closest thing I found in the anime. So as you guys can see, my boy Igaguri just pulled up right there, and the voice line of the move is actually from this thing right here. All right, so it's from this anime, I believe. I'm not really sure. All right, so the first move that we're going to be testing out is the Dharma Chains, and I believe the enemy must have the ball. So there we go. And if I use the Dharma Chains, as you guys can see, we have a fire cutscene. You left yourself open, and then you literally just take the ball from the person. It looks pretty cool, man. It looks pretty cool, all right? And this is actually how it looks like in the manga. So it's not in the anime just yet, but this is how it looks like in the manga. And the next move that we have is the Genius Killing Militia. So let me go ahead and see what this one does. I believe we have to have somebody in front of us. So as you guys can see, you literally just I'm pretty sure it's a dribble move, all right? You literally just go through the person. As you guys can see, it looks pretty cool, bro. The person actually gets you know, ragdolled, and they actually do get slowed down for a couple seconds as well. And this is actually from the manga as well. It's actually not in the anime yet, but if you guys are wondering, this is how it looks like in the manga, okay? It looks pretty cool, bro. It looks fire. All right, so here we do have our tier list, and as you guys can see, we have many different categories, okay? So we got the very accurate, we got decent, and we have what the Sigma. I don't know what that one's supposed to mean, but in terms of Igaguri, I feel like he was pretty accurate, all right? It was a pretty accurate, like, you know, comparison to the game and the anime. And the next style that we're going to be taking a look at is Yukamia. All right, so the first move that we have with Yukamia is called Freestyle. And obviously, as you guys know, this is a dribble move. It looks like really good and does have some insane range as well. So that's how it looks like in the game. Let's check out how it looks like in the anime. All right, so this is how it looks like in the anime, bro. So as you guys can see, my boy Yukamia literally just dribbles through the person. The next move that we have is a move called the Lethal Touch. And as you guys can see, you literally just kind of dribble to the side. So whichever side you're like facing, you literally just dribble to that side right there. And for the Lethal Touch, I couldn't really find anything in the anime or the manga that was similar, but let's go ahead and move on to the Awakening. All right, so this right here is how the Awakening animation looks like for Yukamia. And in the anime, it looks pretty similar, bro. All right, so with the Awakening, the first move that we're going to be testing out is the street dribbling. So if I use it, as you guys can see, you literally get to like aim where you want to go. It looks pretty fire, bro. And in the anime, it looks exactly the same, bro. Look at this, like Yukamia is just calculating like his path, and he literally just follows that path, goes through every single defender. It just looks insane, bro. All right, last but not least, we have a move called the gyro shot. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that, all right? I don't know how to pronounce it. But obviously, as you guys know, this is a shooting move. So as you guys can see, Yukamia just like, you know, just takes the ball, kicks the ball, and that thing goes right in the net, bro. As you guys can see, it looks pretty good in the game. And in the anime, as you guys can see, Yukamia actually does the same exact posing. He literally finds a spot to shoot at. He like locks it in, and he kicks the ball, and as you guys can see, the ball directly goes towards that spot, bro. This guy is a mastermind aimer, dude. All right, so in terms of Yukamia, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I do feel like he's pretty accurate, bro. I feel like every single move that we have in the game is actually like directly from the anime, so that's a really good sign. So Yukamia is gonna be going inside of very accurate. And the next style that we do have is Chigiri. All right, so in terms of Chigiri, as you guys know, we got two moves, which are Speedster and Accelerate. So let me go ahead and use the first move. As you guys can see, what this does, it just makes makes you become the Flash, bro. And in the anime, as you guys can see, it's actually the same exact thing, bro. My boy Chigiri is putting in the work. The next move that we have is a move called Accelerate, which is pretty much a dash forward. So you pretty much just dash forward. Nothing too crazy. So that's how it looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, this guy right here has the ball. And literally what happens is Chigiri teleports, dashes, and takes the ball, bro. All right, so now it's time for the awakening, all right? So as you guys can see, it says, are you ready, right leg? Your leg was chained up and you literally just break the chains. I'm the best striker in the world. So that's how it looks like in the game, obviously. Let's go ahead and take a look at the anime. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, it's the same exact thing. So Chigiri's right leg is like chained up to the floor and he basically breaks free from the chains. And once he breaks free, bro, this guy's locked in, bro. Look at him, bro. He just broke all the chains. He broke all of the chains. That's crazy. But in terms of the awakening, as you guys can see, we only have one new move, which is a move called Blast. So if I actually go ahead and use this, as you guys can see, it's pretty much a buff version of the Accelerate. You just dash, but like the dash is a lot stronger than before, all right? And this is how it looks like in the anime, all right? So some guy's chasing Chigiri and Chigiri just like dashes forward and the guy falls down. So if I had to rank Chigiri in terms of how accurate it is to the anime, obviously I'm gonna be putting it in the very accurate. Like I'm pretty sure every single move was like directly from the anime, bro. All right, but anyways, the next style that we're gonna be taking a look at is Kaiser. And obviously, as you guys know, Kaiser is a world-class style, so that means he has 3 moves. Or actually, he has more than 3. So if I kick the ball, as you guys can see, my V move turns into Emperor's Route. And if I take the ball, it turns into Emperor's Dribble. But anyways, the first move that we are gonna be testing out is the Kaiser's Impact, which is pretty much one of the best shooting moves in the entire game. Check out this range, bro. That is insane. Oh, I scored! I scored that! So that's how the Kaiser's Impact looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime. Alright, so the Kaiser's Impact is actually not out in the anime yet, but there's actually like a fan-made animation that they kind of took inspiration from, as you guys can see. And the next move that we have is the Emperor Dribble, which is pretty self-explanatory, bro. It's a nice little dribble move, as you guys can see. Alright, so in terms of the Emperor Dribble, I couldn't really find anything, but I kind of found this, which actually is kind of similar to the Kaiser's Impact, and it's also a dribble move as well. Alright, the next move that we have is the Kaiser Volley, which is pretty much you take the ball from your teammate and you kick the ball like so. It looks pretty good, man. So that's how it looks like in the game. Let's see how it looks like in the anime. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was searching for like a good 20 minutes and I was not able to find this in the manga, so I guess there's no particular example for Kaiser Volley, but let's go ahead and move on to the awakening. Alright, so as you guys can see, you literally get a phone call. It tells you to get on your knees. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but the cutscene looks pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And in the anime, as you guys can see, Kaiser gets a phone call. He picks up the phone, which is actually pretty cool. It looks like the same exact way it is in the game. And in terms of the ultimate mode, as you guys can see, we actually do have 2 moves, which are Bane Schuss and Magnus. I think this is a German word for bicycle kick. I don't really know. But anyways, let me go ahead and show you guys how this looks like. So if I aim this correctly and use the move, as you guys can see, you literally just bring someone towards you, you hit a bicycle kick, you call them a loser, you kick the ball, and of course it's gonna go in, bro. It's one of the best shooting moves in the entire game right now. So that's how it looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime. Alright, so I couldn't really find anything in the anime, but I did find this like fan-made animation. So as you guys can see, in the fan-made animation, I think the game took some inspiration from this. Kaiser does the bicycle kick, he aims where he wants to shoot, and he literally just kicks the ball. Of course it's gonna go in, bro. This is Michael Kaiser, man. Alright, last but not least, we have a move called the Magnus. So let me go ahead and use this real quick. As you guys can see, it's another cutscene move. It actually looks pretty good. Look at the end. That is so fire, dude. And this is actually something I found. So as you guys can see, we got Michael Kaiser, with the ball here, and he's gonna go ahead and use the Magnus. It's a fan-made animation, nothing too crazy, but I guess that's where they got the inspiration from for the move in the game. It looks pretty cool, bro. So in terms of Michael Kaiser, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I would say he is accurate, but like some moves were kind of made from like, fan-made animations and stuff. But to be honest, bro, you can't really say that because like, Kaiser is mostly in the manga still. So yeah, we're gonna put him in the accurate for now at least. But the next style that we do have is Say. Alright, so the first move that we do have is the perfect pass, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this is. You literally just pass the ball to your teammate. It's a pretty good pass. I feel like it's one of the best passing moves in the game for a base move. Alright, so in terms of the anime, as you guys can see, he literally just passes the ball across the entire field. It's a really good passing move. Alright, so the next move that we have is the arm swipe. You literally just, smack the person with your arm and like get them off of you. And in the anime, as you guys can see, Sai actually uses this against Rin, bro. His own brother. He literally smacks his own brother, bro. This guy Say is a savage. Alright, but the next move that we do have is the Meta Vision. As you guys can see, the Meta Vision, you literally just get vision across the entire map. You also get to see what style everybody's using. So this guy's using Kaiser. That guy right there is using Nagi. So you literally just get vision across the entire map, alright? And I actually couldn't really find anything on this particular move in the manga or anime, so I think they kind of just made it up themselves. But let's go ahead and move on to the next move, which is going to be the beautiful shot. And the way this move works is somebody has to be in front of you, and if you use the move, as you guys can see, you literally just kick the ball. I feel like the range on this move is kind of bad, but like, you can't really judge a book by its cover, bro. Let's check out how it looks like in the anime. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, my boy said, stop interrupting me, bro. And this guy is locked in. You're such a pain, little brother. This guy is actually a savage. He just kicked the ball across the entire map. It looks like he's not gonna save that. Yeah, Gagamaru is not gonna save that, bro. He is. Oh! Oh! Yo, that was clutch. All right, last but not least, we have a move called the magical turn. So if I use this, as you guys can see, it's a pretty nice dribble move. So that's how it looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime. All right, so in terms of the magical turn, as you guys can see, he just breaks some ankles, man. All right, so now it's time for the awakening. I'm taking this game to the next level. We have some insane VFX. Only the fools who could keep up with me will see what comes next. And that is so clean, dude. So that's how the ultimate animation looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime real quick. And as you guys can see in the anime, Isagi and Sei are like confronting each other, and this is where Sei just locks in, bro. Look at this. Only the idiots who could keep up with me will see what comes next. He says the same thing in the anime. The first move that we have is heel flick, and it looks pretty self-explanatory. You literally just flick the ball to yourself. And this is how the move looks like in the anime, bro. As you guys can see, brother versus brother, bro. This is insane. He literally just flicks the ball over Ren. They both start running for the ball, and it's just insane, bro. All right, last but not least, we have a move called You'll Never Surpass Me. So let me go ahead and just aim this right over here. As you guys can see, we hit the person off us with a little arm swipe. If you keep acting like my little brother, bro, Sei is actually so cold, man. You nutmeg the person, all right? Pretty cool, pretty cool. You say you'll never surpass me. Dude, this is actually so insane. The disrespect is insane, bro. So you kick the ball, of course we score, bro. That was insane. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, Sei says the same exact things, bro. If you keep behaving like my little brother, he literally nutmegs his own brother, bro. You will never surpass me, bro. The disrespect is insane. All right, so in terms of Sei, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, bro. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the very accurate tier as well. But the next style that we do have is normal Isagi. All right, so the first move that we have is a move called the direct shot. So you literally just shoot the ball like that. It does not have the best range in my opinion. And in the anime, as you guys can see, Isagi pretty much just, uses the direct shot. He kicks the ball towards the net. He literally says my direct shot as well. Kicks the ball, and as you guys can see, he actually goes ahead and scores that, which is actually insane. All right, next we have a move called fade away, which is actually a move that you get people out of your way with. So as you guys can see, I literally just ragdoll. Oh my god. Okay, I don't know what just happened right there, but it's a pretty good move. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, all right? So let's go ahead and check out how it looks like in the anime. All right, as you guys can see, my boy Isagi is locked in, bro. He literally just goes through everybody, bro. Look at that. That looks so cool. All right, next up, we have the awakening. As you guys can see, this is how it looks like in the game. We got the puzzle pieces, of course. We also got Isagi whispering in my ear. That sounds so weird, bro. But as you guys can see, my entire vision turns blue, and I have one move called the final shot. And as you guys can see in the anime, somebody says, hey, are you listening, Isagi? But like, bro, this guy is just locked in, bro. We got the same exact puzzle pieces. Bro, this looks exactly how it is in the game, bro. And that is actually really, really nice how they actually made it like so similar, dude. All right, so like I did say, we have one move called the final shot. Let me go ahead and use this real quick. So this is how it looks like, bro. All right, so we got the ball right there. We got Isagi about to go ahead and kick the ball. All right, so we also got the puzzle pieces all around us. This guy is just calculating everything, bro. All right, so we take the shot and boom, there we go. Wait, that was my own net. And as you guys can see in the anime, this is how it looks like, bro. So we got the same exact puzzle pieces all over Isagi, bro. So this guy is just like super locked in, bro. We got the puzzle piece luck right in front of him. Oh my god, bro. This looks so accurate. It looks so accurate. He takes the final shot and there we go. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like so far all of these characters are pretty accurate, bro. Like they're actually doing a pretty good job. All right, so the next style that we do have is Corona, and the first move that we have is a move called the 1-2. So if I use this move, as you guys can see, you directly pass your teammate and your teammate passes it back to you. It's a pretty cool move, I'm not gonna lie. And I actually couldn't find anything from the anime, but I did find this, which is a fan animation of the move. So as you guys can see, you literally just do the 1-2. The next move that we have is a move called the shark steal, which is pretty self-explanatory, bro. It's a stealing move, so you literally just steal the ball from your opponent like that. And surprisingly, I was not able to find anything about this in the manga or the anime as well, so nothing for the shark steal yet. All right, but now we have the awakening. All right, so as you guys can see, the awakening does look pretty cool, bro. We're like in outer space, I think. And for the awakening, we got one move move called Planet Hotline, but let's go ahead and just check out the awakening animation. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I was not able to find anything for that move either. So far, I was not able to find anything except for the 1-2, but let's go ahead and check out the Planet Hotline. So it's pretty much a move where you give to your teammate. As you guys can see, you have a partner, and what you do is like a 1-2, bro. You literally just keep passing him back and forth, back and forth. It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. And as you guys can see, I did manage to find a fan animation of this move. So as you guys can see, it's like a Planet Hotline, like kind of like a passing back and forth type of thing. So in terms of Corona, I'm not gonna lie, I was only able to find like fan-made animations. I couldn't really find anything else, but I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the decent tier for now. All right, the next style that we have is Nel Isagi, and the first move that we do have is something called the lefty shoot. And the way this works is if somebody on the other team has the ball, you pretty much just take the ball from them and kick the ball away, and you could actually score with that move as well. All right, so this is what I found. All right, so it looks like it's a fan-made animation, but it is from the manga. So as you guys can see, bro, and this guy literally just takes the shot, takes the ball from the person and takes the shot. It looks really, really good, bro. Look at that power. All right, next up we have Meta Vision, which is pretty much a move that lets you see across the entire map. You also get to see what style people are using as well, just like Say. So he's using Kaiser and he's using Nagi. So yeah, you literally just get vision across the entire map. And in the anime, as you guys could see, all right, we got my boy Isagi right here, and what he's gonna do is he's gonna turn on his Meta Vision, okay? He literally just gets vision across the entire map. He starts calculating things. He just starts seeing everything, bro. But the next move that we do have is the dash move, and as you guys can see, it's a pretty simple thing. You literally just dash, but the dash is pretty good though. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's actually like a really, really good dash. Like, look at that distance. And as you guys can see right here, I did find a fan-made animation of this. So as you guys can see, my boy literally just dashes through 2 defenders. All right, so now we have the awakening. All right, so as you guys can see, this is how the awakening looks like. We got a big brain right over there. And in the awakening, as you guys can see, you also get to see what like moves everybody has as well. So you can see Kaiser has Kaiser's Impact, Emperor Dribble, Royal Volley, and this is actually where they got it from. All right, so as you guys can see, we got Isagi right over here. This guy's going through it, bro. But as you guys can see, he's like crying. He's like super mad. He's going through like every single emotion at once right now, bro. So yeah, as you guys can see, he literally just goes big brain mode. The first move that we have is a move called the Demon King. So if I jump up and use this move, as you guys can see, this right here is the Demon King move. All right, it looks really, really good, and we score that as well. So that's how it looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime real quick. All right, so in terms of the Demon King, I couldn't really find the same part from like the manga, but I did find a like fan-made animation of the move. So as you guys can see, it looks like the game took inspiration from this fan-made animation thingy. So it does look pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. All right, so the next move that we have is the true direct shot, and this one, the way it works is your teammate needs to have the ball, and if your teammate has the ball, you literally just take the ball from your teammate and kick the ball. All right, like I did say, the distance or the range is not the best, but it is a pretty decent move though. And here's the fan-made animation I did find. So obviously it's not in the anime or you know, anything like that yet, but this is the fan-made animation of the move. It looks pretty cool, bro. Look at this thing. Like it looks really, really good. So this right here is the true direct shot. All right, next up we got the 2-gun volley. So let me go ahead and use this real quick, and as you guys can see, this is like one of the coolest moves for Nel Isagi, bro. He has 2 guns with the move. It looks really good. All right, so obviously this is in the manga, but I feel like having an animation is a lot better. So this right here is a fan-made animation of the 2-gun volley again. Check this out, bro. My boy Isagi got the puzzle pieces around him. He's gonna go ahead and use the true direct shot, and you're gonna notice that with the true direct shot, he does like have like guns with him. It looks really cool, bro. Look at that thing. It looks really, really cool. All right, so in terms of Nel Isagi, everything that he has in the game is actually in the manga, but we have to look at, you know, fan animations because it looks a lot better to look at. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Nel Isagi in the accurate tier. All right, but now we have Hiori, which is known for being a passing teammate. So the first move that we have is obviously a passing move called Laser. So you literally just pass the ball to your teammate like so. And in the anime, as you guys can see, Hiori pretty much just, you know, passes the ball like so. He does not have an ego. The next move that we have is a move called the Ice Dribble. So you literally just dribble the ball through the person with like some ice VFX and stuff. And in the anime, as you guys can see, this is how the Ice Dribble looks like. And after using the Ice Dribble, you're gonna notice that you have another move called Pass. And for this move, I couldn't really find anything. It's just like a simple passing move, but let's go ahead and move on to the awakening. All right, here we go. As you guys can see, we have like a little like iceberg around us. We are locked in as Hiori. All right, so this right here is where they got it from. So as you guys can see, it looks the same exact way. And we do have one move called the curve pass, which is actually one of the best passing moves in the entire game. Okay, like this thing has infinite range. Like if I go all the way down over here, I am still able to pass like to my teammate all the way down over there. Like this move has infinite range. Like I'm not even trolling, bro. Check this out. Like it has one of the best ranges in the entire game. Like my teammate literally got the ball right there, bro. That's insane. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, you know, Hiori just passes the ball across across the entire map. It looks really good, bro. So in terms of Hiori, I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the, you know, the accurate tier because he was pretty accurate to the anime, I'm not gonna lie. All right, the next character that we have is Shido. And the first move that we're gonna be taking a look at is the Dragon Drive. And bro, this move is like the best move in the game, bro. Look at that thing, bro. And that is insane. So that's how the Dragon Drive looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime real quick. All right, so this is what I was able to find for the Dragon Drive, all right? So as you guys can see, Sei passes the ball to Shido. And basically what Shido does is he actually has like a chem reaction with Sei. But as you guys can see, he does use his Dragon Drive right over here. He goes up into the air and then he like literally just kicks the ball. It looks pretty insane, bro. Look at that Dragon Drive. It looks really, really good. All right, next up we have a move called the Dragon Header. So you literally just head the ball like that. It's a pretty good move, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, you know, somebody passes the ball and literally what happens is Shido takes the ball and he does a like flying header, bro. He literally does a flying header and like, you know, shoots the ball and scores. All right, so now moving on to the Awakening. All right, so this is the Awakening for Shido. We have one move called the Big Bang Drive, but let's take a look at the animation itself first. All right, so as you guys can see in the anime, this right here is the ultimate animation for Shido's Awakening. And like I did say, he has a move called the Big Bang Drive. So let me go ahead and use this real quick. My soccer cells, all right, okay, are tingling and starting to spark. Okay, but as you guys can see, this is how the move looks like. It's one of the best moves in the game in terms of VFX and animations. Like, look at that, bro. It looks insane. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, it's the same exact thing. My soccer cells are tingling. Shido goes up in the air. He does have his demon wings as well. And bro, it looks exactly the same, bro. Big Bang Drive. It looks so good. Goes ahead and takes the shot. Oh my god, bro. Like, that move is actually so good. And that is actually so cool. Obviously, as you guys can see, Shido went ahead and scored that goal. So in terms of Shido, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's gonna have to go in the very accurate tier. Like, that was actually insane, dude. All right, so next style that we have is bachira, and the first move that we have with bachira is steal. So pretty self-explanatory. You literally just dash and just steal the ball from the opponent. And in terms of the steal, there's no like reference. I think they just added that. But after you use steal, the move turns into something called a heel pass. So as you guys can see, you literally just pass the ball from the heel. Let's check out the anime. All right, so this is how it looks like in the anime. The next move that we have is a move called nutmeg. So pretty self-explanatory. You just nutmeg the person like that. And this is how it looks like in the anime, bro. As you guys can see, he literally just does a nutmeg to that guy right there. All right, so this right here is the awakening animation for bachira. As you guys can see, it looks pretty cool, bro. You literally have a monster around you. And the crazy thing with this is they still have not fixed the infinite dribble move, bro. If I try to use this, as you guys can see, it just does not work. And in the anime, as you guys can see for the awakening animation, it looks pretty similar, bro. You have some monster that tries to, you know, dap you up. Obviously, this guy Botera actually daps up the monster. Also, in terms of Botera's ultimate mode, we do have two moves. Obviously, like I did say, the infinite dribble is still broken. But this one, I don't know why it still says heel pass. It's supposed to say something else, but if I use the move, as you guys can see, it's a shooting move. It's pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. So that's how that looks like in the game. Let's check out the anime real quick. And in the anime, as you guys can see, we got Botera. He turns into half monster. He goes through the person. And yeah, that's pretty much all that there is for Botera, because like I did say, one of his moves are broken. I feel like he would have been very accurate if the other moves actually worked, but they don't really work. So we're gonna put him in the accurate for now. All right, so the next style that we have is Karasu. So the first move that we're gonna be looking at is Raven Dribble. So you literally just dribble through the person with a bunch of like Raven, like, you know, visual effects and stuff. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, he's literally dribbling. He actually goes through a bunch of people. He tries pushing Shido, which is pretty funny. All right, the next move that we have is a move called the Crow Theft, which is actually a stealing move. So you literally just steal the ball from the person and you just keep moving forward. All right, so in terms of the anime, this was the closest thing I was able to find. So you literally have Karasu just talking to somebody. All right, so now it's time for the awakening. So this right here is the awakening animation, and this is how it looks like in the anime. Okay, so as you guys can see, he literally like resembles a crow. And in terms of the moves, we actually do have only one move, which is called the crow clearance. And obviously, as you guys know, this stops the ball. So let's say, for example, the ball is in the air and I press the thing. As you guys can see, you literally just stop the ball and just take possession of the ball, if that makes sense. And in terms of the anime, this is the closest thing I was able to find. So as you guys can see, Karasu literally just catches the ball. So in terms of Karasu, I'm gonna have to put him in the decent tier. I feel like some moves were like, you know, not really accurate in my opinion. All right, so the next style that we have is Ren, which is Sei's brother. So the first move that we're gonna be testing out is the curve shot. So let me go and just make my way down over there. And obviously, as you guys know, it's pretty much a shooting move, but the ball curves as you shoot. So it's actually a pretty decent movement. Look at that, dude. And in the anime, as you guys can see, my boy Ren is taking the shot and the ball curves as he takes the shot, bro. That is a crazy spin. All right, next up, we have a move called the opposite direction. And as you guys can see, it's a nice little dribble move. All right, so in the anime, this is how it looks like, bro. So as you guys can see, Ren has the ball and he's literally dribbling, bro. Look at that. That is a crazy dribble. He goes right through the person. All right, so next up, we have the ultimate mode. So as you guys can see, we're in the middle of a sibling fight. And in the anime, as you guys can see, see, it's the same exact way. The first move that we have with our ultimate mode is a move called score. You know, pretty self-explanatory. You literally just score the ball. Check this out. You are literally locked in. You have smoke all around you. You take the shot and boom, there we go. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, it's the same exact way, bro. He freezes the time. He like finds a way to shoot the ball, which is an opening. And bro, this guy takes the shot and that thing goes right in the net, bro. My boy Ren is locked in. All right, the next move that we have is a move called the center of gravity. So obviously this is a dribble move as well. You literally just ragdoll the person in front of you like that. And in the anime, it works the same exact way. So as you guys can see, Ren is like, you know, facing off with this guy right here. He says, know your place. Bro, this guy is insane. So in terms of Ren, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was pretty accurate in my opinion. So I'm gonna be putting him in the very accurate tier for now. All right, so the next style that we have is Aiku. And as you guys can see, the first move that we have is a move called a force defense. So if I use this move, wait, what the hell? Does the move not work anymore? As you guys can see, the move is not working, bro. It's supposed to like ragdoll the person. I don't know why it's not doing that. I mean, bro, after all, we're playing bug lock rivals. All right, I don't know why it's not working. Okay, never mind. So I literally was searching for like a good 5-10 minutes, bro. I was not able to find anything. So let's go ahead and just move on to the next move, which is charge. So let me go ahead and do this. And bro, what? Is Aiku broken? Bro, I think this style is just broken right now, bro. How is a mythic style just broken? Like both of the moves just do not work for some reason, bro. But as you guys can see in the anime, this is how the move was supposed to look like. So obviously, as you guys know, Aiku is a defender. All right, so here we have the awakening. All right, so as you guys can see, it's a nice little like simple awakening. You won't be stealing any goals. And as you guys can see in the anime, it's the same exact thing, bro. He has the same exact voice lines. It looks pretty cool. All right, so we have one move which is called the serpent interception. And the way this works is, let's say somebody shoots the ball. Let's say the ball's in the air. You can literally just come out of nowhere, kick the ball away. So yeah, it's a pretty nice and simple defending move. You just kick the ball away. And in the anime, as you guys can see, he literally has a snake around him, bro. Look at that. That looks so cool. So in terms of IQ, I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the I feel like I would have put him in accurate, but since none of the base moves work, I'm gonna go ahead and put him in decent, okay? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know what the devs are doing. The style just does not work. All right, the next style that we have is Don Lorenzo. So the first move that we have is called zombie dribble. So as you guys can see, it's a nice little like simple dribbling move that you have with the ball. So this is how it looks like in the anime. It's actually a fan-made animation because it's not in the anime yet. The next move that we have is zombie dash. You literally just dash the ball. It's kind of like another dribbling move. And unfortunately, I was not able to find anything for this move, but let's go ahead and move on to the golden defense. And the way this one works is if the ball is on the floor, you could actually like dash the ball sideways and just kick the ball like that. So this is how it looks like in the manga. So this right here is a fan animation, obviously. So that's how it looks like. All right, next up, we have the awakening. All right, check this out. So this right here is the awakening. He says, give me money. And this is where they got it from, bro. As you guys know, Don Lorenzo is actually homeless, okay? So he says, give me money. And the guy says, sure, how much you want? And it's pretty much like a little, like, you know, scene. It looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. The first move that we have is a move called Yo Michael, which is actually a move which allows you to, like, you know, just catch the ball. So if, let's say, for example, the ball is in the air, you use Yo Michael. You literally just take possession of the ball. And this is where they got the idea from. So it's a fan-made animation, but it does exist in the manga as well. The next move that we have is counterattack, which is a shooting move. So if I jump up and use the move, as you guys can see, this right here is the counterattack, okay? It looks really cool, bro. You literally just kick the ball. It has a lot of power as well. And there we go. We went ahead and scored that. And this is how it looks like from the manga. So obviously, again, we have a fan-made animation. So that right there is the counterattack, all right? It looks pretty cool. Last but not least, we have a move called undead mode. So as you guys can see, you literally just start moving around with the ball. You're pretty quick, and it's pretty much like a dribble move where you're just moving pretty quickly, okay? And sadly, I was not able to find anything for this either. So let's go ahead and rank this on the tier list, okay? So in terms of Don Lorenzo, I guess I'm gonna put him in the accurate for now. But let's move on to the next style. And the next style that we do have is Nagi. So the first move that we have is the trap move. So the way this works is you literally go in the air and you get to shoot the ball. And this is how it looks like in the anime, okay? So as you guys can see, Nagi's will, like, you know, run with the ball. He goes up into the air. He stops in the air, bro. This guy's still in the air with the ball. Look at that, bro. And pretty much from there, what he's able to do is he's able to shoot the ball in midair. And it's really insane, dude. The next move that we have is called dash. And as you guys can see, it's a pretty, you know, little dash move. I don't think there's any reference for this. They just kind of made it up themselves. So let's go ahead and just move on to the awakening. All right, here we go. I'm gonna give it a try. As you guys can see, we got one move, which is called I am Nagi. And this is how it looks like in the anime, okay? So he says Rio, I'm gonna give it a try. Same exact way it is in the game, so it looks pretty cool. Like I did say, we have one move called I am Nagi, which is a pretty decent shooting move, as you guys can see. You say instantly kill it, you just shoot the ball, and there's no special effects or anything, but it is still a pretty decent shooting move in my opinion. Nice to meet you, Japan. I am Nagi. So this is how it looks like in the anime. As you guys can see, Nagi is doing the same exact thing. Instantly kill it. He literally just flicks the ball ball, or he taps the ball, I should say, and he goes ahead and kicks the ball, bro. Nagi is actually really good, bro. Look at this guy right here. Nice to meet you, Japan. I am Nagi. And then he goes ahead and kicks the ball, and that is Aura. So in terms of Nagi, I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the accurate tier as well. The next style that we have is Rio. So the first move that we got is copy. So you're able to copy like anybody's style. So I went ahead and copied Nagi right there. And in terms of like, you know, references for these, I was not able to really find anything for the trap. And obviously the offense and defense, there's not really anything to say for that either, because it's not really a move. It's just like a buff that you get. So let's move straight on to the ultimate mode. This right here is the awakening animation for Rio. I feel like it's kind of dry, bro. Like it's not really anything cool at all. But we do have one move which is called Chameleon. Alright, so this right here is the awakening animation that I kind of found a reference for in the anime. So as you guys can see, Rio is on the floor here. It's kind of the same in the game. But obviously, as you guys know, the way Chameleon works is you pretty much just copy anybody's awakening move, alright? So obviously, I went ahead and copied I am Nagi right there. So whoever it is, you're able to copy their awakening move. That's pretty much what Rio does. He just like copies everybody. He's a jack of all trades. And he's just a very adaptable player, okay? So obviously, there's not really a reference for that either, because he just steals another person's ability. So in terms of Rio, I guess I'm gonna put him in the decent tier. I'm surprised we have not got any What the Sigmas yet, okay? Alright, so the next style that we do have is King. So the first move that we're gonna be checking out is the Lion Steal. So obviously, as you guys know, this is a stealing move. So you literally just steal the ball. I don't know why I was not able to get it there, but bro, does it not work? Okay, it does work. It's just very short range for some reason. And I was actually not able to find anything for the stealing move, which kind of makes sense. But let's move on to the next move, which is the Lion Chop Feint. So obviously, as you guys know, it's pretty much a chop feint, which ragdolls the person as well. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. So check this out, bro. He literally just chops the person. Look at that guy, bro. He literally got his ankles broken. The next move that we have is called King's Dribble. So you pretty much just dribble with the ball, and you're actually able to, like, you know, shoot the ball at the very end as well. So as you guys can see, King is literally just dribbling through everybody, bro. You're not even able to see him. All right, so now obviously we got our awakening. So what is clinging onto me? As you guys can see, there's like a bunch of stuff clinging onto us, and you literally just keep going forward, bro. And this is how it looks like in the anime. It looks pretty similar, bro. As you guys can see, there's a bunch of stuff like pulling back King, and pretty much what he does is he just ignores them, bro. So Baro is a pretty good character, bro. Look at this guy. He literally just ignores all those people. He locks in and he just keeps pushing forward, bro. So the first move that we have is the C move, and I'm not sure why it doesn't say it, but it's called King of the Jungle. All right, so as you guys can see, this is how it looks like right here, okay? So we do have voice lines as well, which is pretty decent. So this is how the move looks like. You literally just start going, I'm pretty sure you start dribbling. Yeah, look at this, bro. Check this out. Know your place, and you actually go ahead and shoot the ball. It looks pretty cool, bro. So let's go ahead and check out how that looks like in the anime real quick. All right, so in the anime, as you guys can see, he says my range is 27 meters, which is the same thing he said in the game as well. Next up, we have a move called Predation, which says the ball must be on the ground. So this is how it looks like, bro. Check this out. So this right here is called Predation. You says I'm gonna feast on you. It looks so cool, bro. Check out that VFX. As you guys can see, this is how it looks like right here. We got two people just guarding King, and pretty much what this guy does is he does something which not everybody was expecting, bro. All right, so the ball's right there. He is focused on the ball, and he is gonna lock in. Look at this. It is insane. He got the dragon or the lion behind him. Look at that lion right there, bro. That line's crazy. So in terms of King, which is Baro, I'm not gonna lie, bro, he was pretty accurate, so I'm gonna put him in the very accurate for now. All right, so the next style that we have is Gagamaru, which is a goalkeeping you know, style. So the first move that we have is the Scorpion. So you literally just dive. Pretty self-explanatory, bro. You literally just do a diving. Let's check it out in the anime. And in the anime, as you guys can see, this is how it looks like, okay? So Gagamaru has the ball. He does like some diving thingy, and he actually scores. In terms of the other move, which is called Fast Reactions, I couldn't really find anything for this. It's pretty much like after images of himself, and he just becomes a lot faster, and he just becomes like locked in, bro. You know what I'm saying? All right, so this right here is the awakening with Gagamaru. So he says, darn, I'll try again. So the first move that we have is called the handstand, which is actually a move where you defend with, but I can't really use it because I'm playing on two devices at once, so I can't really shoot. But anyways, this is how it looks like in the anime. I couldn't really find anything for the handstand move in the anime, but we do have the bear claw as well. And pretty much what the bear claw does is it allows you to like throw the ball from across the entire map. I don't know why it's not working. I don't think I have a teammate on my team, but it lets you throw the ball across the entire map. So as you guys can see, it's a fan-made animation, which he catches the ball, and then he pretty much just chucks the ball across the entire map with a lot of range. All right, so look at this. He throws the ball across the entire map. So in terms of Gagamaru, I guess I'm gonna put him in the decent tier. All right, so the next style that we have is Oroya. So the first move that we're gonna be checking out is Stealthy Steps. And as you guys can see, you literally go invisible, and you're actually able to steal the ball as well. And in terms of the anime, as you guys can see, he literally just goes through a bunch of people. The next move that we have is called Ninja Dribble. As you guys can see, it's a pretty much nice little dribble move, which lets you go invisible for about a second. And in the anime, as you guys can see, he's literally dribbling right here. All right, next up, we have the Awakening. All right, so as you guys can see, we're doing a Naruto run right now, and I was actually not able to find where that Naruto run is from, but we do have one move with our awakening called Ninja Shot, and for this one to work, you need another person in front of you, so this is how it looks like, alright? You literally just go through the person, you kick the ball, pretty decent range as well. So as you guys can see, we got Otaya right here. He literally just takes the ball, goes through the person, and then obviously he finishes it off with a nice, powerful shot, okay? Check this out, bro. Check that out. Alright, so in terms of Otaya, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the decent tier for now. Alright, so the first move that we have for Kunigami is called Power Shot, which allows you to, like, you know, have a powerful shot. So let me go ahead and use this real quick. It's actually a really good move. It's kind of similar to Kaiser's Impact, but obviously with less range. Alright, so in terms of the anime, as you guys can see, we got Kunigami right here. So he says his range is 28 meters. He's like calculating a bunch of stuff right now. He takes the power shot and boom, there we go. Look at that, dude. Alright, so next up we have a move called Body Block, which pretty much just, you know, ragdolls the person, bro. Look at this thing. It's insane. Alright, so in the anime, as you guys can see, this is how it looks like, okay? So, he literally just, you know, body blocks the person, gets rid of the guy. Alright, next up we have the awakening, alright? So this right here is the awakening animation for, you know, Kunigami. Looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And I couldn't really find where this was from, but I'm pretty sure it's in the manga somewhere. But as you guys can see, it's like this thing right here, which he has like a bunch of cards and stuff around him. But in terms of the first move that we have a move called Joker. So let me go ahead and test this out real quick. It's a move which allows you to like use it in midair. So check this out, bro. You literally just kick the ball in midair. Boom, there we go. And I actually found a fan-made animation of this move. So as you guys can see, this is how the fan-made animation looks like. So he literally just kicks the ball. We got a bunch of cards around us. All right, last but not least, we have a move called the Fallen Hero. So let me go ahead and use this move real quick. And as you guys can see, this is how the move looks like, okay? So you literally push the guy off you. You literally just go ahead and kick the ball with a lot of power once again. And bro, that range is insane, dude. Or I believe this is a fan-made animation, but as you guys can see, that right there is that. So in terms of Kunigami, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the, I'm gonna put him in the accurate tier, okay? So this right here is my official ranking on how accurate every single style is compared to the anime. So thank you guys for watching the video all the way to the end. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, and I'll go ahead and see you guys all in the next one.